Old blinds that you have to open manually, that's for the birds. Let's automate this. Dave Taylor here, and I'm at my daughter's house, and we're going to replace these old school shades that don't work very well with new smart shades from SmartWave Shades. Now these are going to be really cool, and we've gone through their whole website and looked at all of the different varieties of fabrics and styles, and I just want to tell you they have, let me get this right, roller shades, cellular shades, zebra shades, Roman shades, woven wood shades, Shangri-La sheer shades, outdoor shades, dual shades, and drapery. It's a lot of choices. It took us a while, but we settled on Roman shades. And the ones we got are going to be smart home ready. We're going to have a remote control. This is one of two windows. This is actually the smaller of the two windows we'll be working with. But what I want to do is I want to actually walk you through the whole install process, and then I'll jump back and I'll show you how it works with the remote. It's going to be pretty cool. We're going to be installing Roman shades in biscuit color. You ready? Let's do this. Lay out all the pieces that you're going to need. You can see we have brackets, we have charging wires, we have a remote control in the box, and we have the two solar panels. So let's jump in. The first step is to figure out how to take off the old blinds. And this was pretty easy because it also had a similar sort of clip. So we basically got it all pulled up and then gently popped it out of the clip. And then we had to remove these mounting clips, which was a pretty straightforward task. And then it was time to put in the new clips. And notice these new clips are simpler, and that very front part is actually spring-loaded. That's an important part of how the blinds stay on their mounting clips. Each one is then screwed into the window. We used an interior mount. Then it was just a matter of getting the blinds to click into the mounting clip. Finally, once we had them mounted, we needed to put the solar panel on the window, and that was easily done with two-sided sticky tape. They're both installed, and as you can see, they're both opening. This style's a little funky compared to like a roller blind, but this was the challenging one. This is a very big window, and it took us a while to get it to all clip properly, but now I'm just using the remote control, and one side controls one blind and the other side controls the other. So this one you can see is now already fully open. And let me show you real quick what the solar looks like. So you can see that here from the outside, and it's easy. And then this one, this looks like that one's good to go too. We might need to make a slight adjustment to get it to hang straight, but this is a glorious improvement over blinds that weren't working at all to be able to go to this. And I gotta say, it was a little tricky on the install. You think that the hard part is to get the brackets in the right place, but no, the hard part is to get the blinds to click into the bracket, because there's a sort of movement where you push forward, you then lift the thing up, pull it towards you, and then it's clipped in. And that is not easy to do when you're standing on a ladder and you have a really long, heavy unit. So as I said, it took us a few minutes. But let me step a little forward and let me tell you a little bit more about the blinds, because this install is done and it's fantastic. One of the things that's not obvious is that you can actually open and close this part way. So I'm going to use the remote and I'll get it down to a point where I feel like it's enough that we're getting light in, but it's not actually fully open, and then push the pause button. And it's as easy as that. So you have a lot of control with the remote. And this is the big window, and that is the smaller window. And the system we decided on was one that's just going to work with the remote control. But if you're really into a smart home, you can actually get a Matter certified motor. And so instead of just having the motor here for the remote control, you could actually hook it up to your Apple HomeKit or your Alexa or Google Assistant or your Samsung SmartThings. So that would give you much more control, and you can do things like when it's sunrise, open the blinds. When it's sunset, close the blinds. So all of that, super helpful. remote control, solar panels. We put one on each of the blinds so that they will charge while we're doing other things. And then hopefully we'll never have to actually plug in and manually charge the batteries that, of course, run the motors in the blinds. So what we chose here, and as you can see here, is we have an inside mount, and it's a standard motor, and it's a 2-channel remote control, and we did the solar, and they're 100% opaque. Now, on the edges, you can see a little light bleeds through. Then SmartWave actually sells something that you can put on your windows that will get rid of that little leakage too. But honestly, these are muchly for privacy, and I think that's going to be totally fine. And at night, it's not going to matter. No one's going to be able to peek in here. And of course, it will give us a lot of privacy, which is really one of the goals. Again, these are Roman shades. The color is biscuit. And just so you have some sense of dimensions, this one is 58 by 46. And the other window that's over there off camera was a whopping 66 by 72 inches. That was a big blinds. So we got it all installed. We, I think, might need to adjust it just a little bit to make sure that we actually have them at the bottom correctly. If you watch, when I close these all the way, they're still going to be about an inch from the bottom, but that's easy to do in a combination of a button on here and the remote control. So we'll be able to step it down just a tiny bit and then set a new lower boundary. So instead of having this space, it'll come all the way down to the bottom. And that's it. This is a little stressful, a little challenging as an install, but then you're done and it's installed. And these are a fantastic upgrade to this room and to just the ability to use this space, particularly at night, where my daughter does not have a huge amount of privacy. She's pretty much on a road. So having the ability to close these blinds is going to give her a vast amount more privacy, which is great. So we do need to talk about the price. Before we get there, I'm going to invite you to subscribe to my channel. Click or tap on that subscribe button, hit that bell icon for notifications. Give me a thumbs up if you found this of value, and I certainly hope that you did. This was a fair amount of work. Cool. These, I'll just point at this one, are the SmartWave Shades, Roman shades in biscuit, and this size was $389.99. And then the larger window that you saw in the pictures earlier when we were doing the install, that one, including the remote, was $488.97. So all told, this is somewhere around $900, but this is absolutely changing this room and bringing new life into the room and changing the colors. So instead of being that really dark burgundy, this really light colors really just made the room seem that much larger. So really great update. And please check all of it out. Look at all of their varieties of fabrics and styles at smartwaveshades.com. That's what I got. I think I'm going to just sit on the couch and just enjoy pushing the buttons. So I'll have to catch you in my next video.